guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Rosie, and today I wanted to do something that would be quite fun. I thought what I wanted to do was discuss I'm gonna call it my tri-monthly favourites. Basically all the favourites that I've had for the first 3 months of 2022. So this is basically from the 1st of January to, I guess, not the 31st of March, but close enough as I can get to it. So when I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this in different categories, and then I want to talk about all the things that I'm proud of in the first 3 months and all of the things that I want to work to in the next 3 months. So I thought this would just be a really fun video to do, to sort of just reflect on things, you know, like how people do like quarterly statistics. Well, this is like a quarterly statistic of my life, if that makes any sense whatsoever. So the first thing that I thought that I would start with is my favourite TV shows. Now, I'm going to be real with you, I don't spend like a lot of my time watching TV just because I find it really hard to start a TV show because you have to get like invested into stuff, and sometimes I just don't have the mental energy while I'm doing like uni assignments. You get what I'm saying? But I've been trying to change that because there's so many TV shows out there that I would like to watch. I just am stopping myself from doing it. Who knows why? But yeah, so the first one of those is, you probably or wouldn't have guessed, everyone's been talking about it recently, it's been memed a lot out of as well, and that actually applies to quite a lot of shows. But anyway, the first one is The Witcher. So I kind of put off watching this because for a few reasons. One, because there's this person at my work and they tell me, you should watch The Witcher. They like all the like similar things that I do and stuff. They're like, I think you would really like that, you should watch it. And I'm like, okay. And then a family member also told me that I would really like it, so I should watch it. And I was like, everyone keeps telling me to watch this, I'm not going to do it because everybody keeps watching. I don't know why my brain does that. If you tell me to watch something, I'll probably go, no. I don't know if I need it to be like my own idea or whatever, but I don't know, it's weird, and I really wish that wasn't how my brain worked. But anyway, yeah, so I ended up really enjoying it. I binged it in, I wouldn't say I watched it that quickly. I was watching it with my mum, so I'd say we watched it within a month, which is actually quite quickly for TV shows when you're watching it, when I'm watching it with people, just because deadlines get in the way. I'm not always with my mum, I have to watch everything that I start obviously with her. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. It was really fun. If you haven't seen it, and I'm pretty sure like most people have seen it by now, but if you haven't seen it and you like fantasy, especially sort of the fantasy that you would find more so in like books, I would obviously, because don't know where I'm going with this, if you like fantasy that's like more inspired by, I don't know whether to call it Germanic, because I know the author who originally wrote the books is Polish, so it's in that region of fantasy, like it feels very that area of the world, if you know what I mean. But yeah, I would watch it, because but I was slightly confused in the first season. They could have just, you know, that all could have been fixed if they just put little markers on to show you where the storylines were taking place. I don't know why they didn't do that, very odd choice. Don't know if they just didn't have the budget, but anyway, I really enjoyed it. So that's my first favourite. My second favourite, I watched this shortly afterwards, and it was also very popular. I didn't really know what to expect from Euphoria. I didn't really know if it would be my kind of thing. I've never really watched any I guess the closest thing to it that I've watched is Riverdale, but it's nothing like it, if you know what I mean. I'm talking about like popular teen shows. Well, it's not really, I wouldn't even call it a teen show, but I feel like that's who it's supposed to be aimed at. I don't know. Anyway, that was a load of feels, and also I was so invested. I like binge watched it in like a day when I was supposed to be catching up on my uni work. It was so good. Yeah, I don't really know what to say about the TV shows because I don't really feel like I need to describe what they're about, because I feel like everybody knows what they're about, and I don't really feel like I could actually accurately describe what Euphoria is about because it feels like a fever dream. And I think it's supposed to be that way, but I'm not sure. So moving on to that, the next show that I have been watching is like, that's a kind of a fave. It's like an old fave now, but it's come back on the TV, so it's like I can include this there. But that is Outlander. I also watched this with my mum, and I really enjoy it. If you don't know, because I mean Outlander is still a pretty popular show, but it's probably not nearly as popular as the previous two that I mentioned, but I would call it, it's historical and a historical fiction show, but it's also sort of like got a sort of sci-fi / fantastical element to it, as you know, it does involve time travel. So the main character, Claire, she was a World War II nurse, I believe, and like she and her husband at the time was a soldier in World War II. I think it's World War II. And they go on their honeymoon to Scotland, and while she's there she like touches, I'm not sure what it's called, but if it's like, but it's like a stone kind of, there's a stone circle, and she touches it and it's transported into the 1700s, just before the Jacobite rebellion, and she meets some Highlanders when she's there, and she has to basically find her way back home, but will she want to actually return home? Anyway, the season that I'm currently watching is season 6. Won't say anything about that because it is season 6, but I am really loving it again. I'm a bit confused about what's going to happen in this season because it has gone far away from how it started, but I'm here for the ride, you know. I am enjoying it. I do not mind. Yeah. Moving on. So we also have another historical themed one, which is the discovery of witches. Now this one, I'm enjoying it. I am on the last season. It's not my biggest fave, but it was still enjoyable, and I would recommend it if you haven't seen it. It follows a character, she's called Diane or Diana, I can't remember which one it is, I think it's Diana, and she is a witch, and she discovers this like special book in the Bodleian Library while she's doing research there, and it has apparently all of the secrets of creatures and their origins, and this means like loads of people started getting like really interested in her and following her around and trying to get her to get this book back. Very bad descriptions. I know, I just don't want to spoil anything, and I'm just, yeah. Anyway, I find it really interesting as somebody who's just taken a witchcraft module and also likes history quite a bit. It's really nice to see. Also, I study in Oxford, so it's really cool. I don't go to Oxford University, I'm just putting that out there, I don't go to Oxford University, but it's cool to see like the familiar surroundings of Oxford and like the historical information. It's such a cool concept, and I just really like the TV show. And if you like history, or if you want a good dramatic sort of, it's a historical romance with, I guess, fantastical elements again to it, I would check that out. It's really fun. Well, fun, I'm not sure. I enjoy it anyway, just saying. And then also there is One of Us is Lying, has just had an adaptation released on Netflix. It came out I think last month, but that was really fun. If you don't know, One of Us is Lying is about basically a group of students they are in detention and one of the students ends up dead basically, and the whole story is like trying to basically find out who killed him and why, and like it, because it must have been one of the people in the room. Yeah, so I thought it was a really good adaptation from the book. Like, it was pretty close, but they did change a few things, and some of the things they changed I was a bit like, why did you change that? I mean, it wasn't as good as the book, but adaptations never usually are, and so I was pleased with it. I enjoyed it. I think my mum enjoyed it. It was something good to watch together. And lastly, my last TV favourite is RuPaul's Drag Race. Season 14 and UK versus the World particularly. UK versus the World was an odd season and I enjoyed it for the most part, and I feel like it's one of the only all-star seasons which actually people use the all-star rules to their advantage. It always seems to be like RuPaul's best friend race, if you know what I mean, in All Stars. But I actually enjoyed seeing the drama in it, not gonna lie. It was a bit of an underwhelming series, but I feel like that it needs to come off of BBC and that will just fix everything, you know. And also season 14, I still haven't caught up to date with it, but I was actually really enjoying the Queens like this time. I didn't fully vibe with season 13, so I was like, oh, maybe I'm just like have had enough of the TV show, but I actually was really enjoying season 14. The Queens are so charismatic and I just really like it. I feel like it's a good season. That's all the TV programmes I think that are notable that I want to mention. I don't think I've actually watched that much else that I've actually finished. Moving on to films. There is literally only 2 films. So one of them is The Hating Game. So that's on Amazon Prime if you want to watch that. That's based on The Hating Game by Sally Thorne, and that was one of my favourite books and I loved the film. If you want an enemies to lovers rom-com type film, I highly recommend. It was so good. It was so much fun. Also, I wasn't feeling very well, so it was one of those type films where you could just watch it and it was easy, and I just enjoyed it so much. So that's all I want to say about it, because I have talked about it in a vlog before. The next is also Spider-Man No Way Home. I watched that, I think it must have been in February, with my friends, and that was it was a really enjoyable experience because I don't know, I just love going out places with my friends, and it's so good to do it when you don't get to see them very often, if you know what I'm saying. Anyway, also enjoyed the film. It wasn't just the experience, but I don't know, Spider-Man will always have a special place in my heart because it's such a nostalgic franchise regardless of the rest of Marvel. I mean, I love Marvel, don't get me wrong, but like Spider-Man particularly is right in here. And that was because I grew up watching the Tobey Maguire ones and I can't remember what the cartoon's called, but there was a cartoon, and then eventually the Andrew Garfield ones. They were on repeat, and there was a lot of Spider-Man stuff in my house, mainly because of my older brother, but Spider-Man, it did not disappoint, especially because the film was also really nostalgic, seeing those old films. Anyway, I can't wait for is it next month? I think it is next month, or it's May. That's when I can't wait for Doctor Strange and that one, the Multiverse of Madness. That's what I'm trying to say. I can't wait for Multiverse of Madness, and I really hope to be able to see it when it comes out, and I hope to be able to see it with my friends. Anyway, those are all the films that I wanted to mention. The next are kind of like a couple of books that I wanted to mention. So the first one is The Year of the Reaper, and I'll have to put the author in because I can't remember who wrote it. I don't have the book physically anymore, and that was really nice. That was a really cool book. If you don't know, that book is basically set in a world where the plague is, I'm talking about the bubonic plague here, I'm pretty sure, it has ravaged the setting. It's not set in like a actual real place, but the place is based off like Europe, and it starts basically the main character has just broken free of like prison, basically just because everybody died, and he's going home, and when he gets there, the king and queen are living in his house because like most of his family have died from the plague basically, and there's an assassination attempt on the queen and the son that's just been born. It's like their like naming day ceremony, I think, and he saves the kid, and the whole story like is like trying to like basically find out who's done this and why and what is happening. And I don't know, I just thought it was a really cool take, and then I've also found out it was based off an actual historical occurrence, and that made it even cooler for me. But yeah, I just thought not because it didn't really remind me in any way of like COVID or anything, but like it was just such a cool new story. Like I've read so much of young adult now that a lot of the stories and stuff are pretty similar, so it was so nice and refreshing to read something that I just didn't expect, you know? So I was really happy with that one. And then we have, I read it right at the other year and it stays in my mind. It's Josh and Hazel's Guide to Not Dating by Christina Lauren. And that is a really nice, I guess you would call it rom-com. It's sort of like enemies to lovers, but then friends to lovers, if that makes sense. There's like enemies to friends to lovers, if that makes sense. Have I talked about it before? I don't know. But basically Hazel meets Josh while she's in college. He is her RA, I think it's called, and he doesn't, well, she thinks he just doesn't like her. She thinks that he thinks that she is just too much, and then she eventually becomes a teacher, and she has a friend who is also a teacher who she's like moving into the same school as her, and it's basically her best friend. And then she finds out that her brother is Josh, and they kind of make this pact to like fake date each other to make them better at dating other people, because their lives, like their dating has not been great, their history that is. And that was a pretty light-hearted fun story from when I was doing my uni, so like it was nice to read stuff that is just so not serious. You don't have to take ages getting your brain around things, if you know what I'm thinking. And I haven't finished this yet, but I can tell for me this could be a 5-star read. But that's The Spanish Love Deception by Eleanor Armas. Basically, book talk recommendations have been what I have been reading loads of recently, because I have been obsessed with book talk as well. But it's basically, I've just been looking for like these types of like light-hearted romances, because work is so heavy and you have to do a lot of history reading, if you know what I mean. So it's like I don't want to read heavy fantasy during that. But then this book, if you don't know, basically Catalina, she is from Spain, and she had a boyfriend there, and they broke up and she moved to Spain to work, and her family and that all think that she's still like hung up on this guy, and she's not, but they all like pity her because of how everything all went down and everything. And her sister's getting married, and the best man is the brother of the groom, and he also happens to be her ex, who she's recently found out is engaged. And so she tells her mum that she's got a boyfriend and she's bringing in +1, so don't worry about her. And then also we have Aaron, and he works at the same engineering company as Catalina, and they don't like each other. They have never got on since the first day that they met, and he offers to be her +1, and you know, as we go on. I think it's so much fun, and I haven't finished it yet, but it's so cute and it's really well written because it's like, I don't think it happens too quickly, if you know what I mean. It's just the right level of pacing for me. Anyway, it's fun, like I said, and I'm just loving it. So if you want something that's fun and sort of rom-com-y, totally recommend that. Book Talk was right in saying it's good. Right, so that's all the books I wanted to say. I would like to give some honourable mentions, but I don't want to describe what they're about just because we'll have a really long video. So also I have the Love Hypothesis by Ellie Hazelwood, The Wrath and the Dawn by Renée Adair, It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover, and I would say The Beautiful by Renée Adair. So also, we're moving on into our random favourites now. So this is just random things. So first of all, I would just like to say thank you to my new computer, which I bought this month. It has brought back my love to me. The Sims 3 finally works on my computer. It's powerful enough to run it. Shocking, I know, because it crashes all the time, but I've missed it. And so that's why I'm including The Sims 3 in my favourites list. It's got so much in it that The Sims 4 doesn't, but The Sims 4 I also love you, so don't worry. Also, Stardew Valley has been a lot of fun to play, especially with my friends. That is a good co-op game as well. And also City Skylines was free this month, and I'm loving that. So thank you, computer, thank you for giving me my games back. You are my favourite. Then also, I have recently started, mainly because of TikTok, because they keep coming up on my feed, but I have started collecting crystals. These ones are just like selected. I need to get a better dish basically, but we have these are my favorites. I love touching these when I'm just thinking about things, and like just when I'm just about to leave the house in the morning, I'm like, oh, just pick these up. I do have particular favorites, and that is this one, which is, I think it is obsidian. I just love how flat it is and how you can just hold it between your fingers. I just love that. And then I love the I'll have to look up what this one is, but I just love the like colouring in it. I just think it's so pretty. And this is, I think this is Hemonite. I just love the shape of this one, and I love, this is citrine, and I just love the colours in it, and my little amethyst and my clear quartz. This is cool, and my rose quartz, and I just love them, and I can just tell that I'm going to be getting an obsession with them, and I'm trying not to buy them all the time. And also jewellery. I've been really getting into wearing. So I've taken these off the chains just because I like to put them on other things as well, but I bought this amethyst and the one that I'm wearing, rose quartz pendant. They are separate, they are usually on silver chains. I love them so much. I wear them pretty much every day. I find them so soothing, and I just love being able to just touch them when I'm feeling nervous. I'm so glad that I bought them, and I'm literally going to get some more. The other like necklaces I do have, I'll just bring my little chain around here. So I've got, I'll bring up here. This one is a particular favourite. It's the Labradorite one that my nan got me, and then this one next to it is a little Cancer chain that I wear quite a lot. I got this from Primark and it's really cool. I love this moon one. This is from New Look. I love these butterflies. This is like more of my fancy like statement piece necklace. This one, he's my Groot one, and I love him. I've just been loving necklaces basically. Linking on to that, I've recently just started buying novelty earrings. Now guys, if any of you know ones that have any shops that sell either like fully gold novelty earrings, like the metal is fully gold, or maybe like titanium, anything. I'm allergic to nickel, and I'm not entirely sure if I'm allergic to other metals yet. But if anybody knows, I know hyperallergenic earrings are kind of vague thing, but if anybody knows any shops that sell hypoallergenic earrings, please let me know, because I can't wear all of them all the time. Well, I'll show you the pairs of earrings. So it's these cute little rubber duckies, they're so cute. And then I have these pair of meerkals, which is so cute. And then the pair that I'm wearing today are little geese. They're falling out of my ears, lol. Yeah, I love them, and I can also tell that that's going to be an obsession. We move. Those are all of my favourite objects or things that I've been doing as well. I would have loved to have said, oh, I'm trying to teach myself to crochet. I would have loved to say that was my favourite, but I'm finding it very frustrating at the moment because I can't do anything. Oh yeah, I'd love to say my Polaroid camera up on that shelf, that little blue Instax mini, that is also a favourite. I love taking Polaroids, and I will take them to the day I die because they are so cute and I love them. I just love having them on my wall. I shout out to my uni friends who told me about these, because thank you. Anyway, let's move on into the things that I'm proud of. So I'm just gonna get the biggest one out of the way with. I'm so proud that I finally had it in my dissertation. That is such a chef's kiss. Love it. Thank you, me. I'm so proud of me for doing that. So the other ones are more like event type things. So I drove to Cardiff, which is at least 100 miles from my house, and I went to a concert, which is, I'm so proud of myself for doing that, because it's so, when I tell you it's so far out of my comfort zone, it's so far out of my comfort zone. I'm so proud of myself for doing that. One, I do find driving quite scary, especially on motorways. I can do it, don't get me wrong, I'm not a like scared driver, it's just the thought of doing it makes me so anxious. Going to a concert makes me so anxious because there's a lot of people, it's very loud noises, obviously because of the music, but loud music can sometimes make me upset, if that makes sense. But I went, I had a really good time. I saw my friend that I don't get to see very often, and when I say my friend, I saw my best friend. And I had so much fun, and I'm so pleased with myself for doing it. I nearly chickened out and cancelled, but I didn't, and I'm so proud of myself for pushing my boundaries there. I also, saying that, went to my first ever drag show, which also nearly wimped out of, but I had so much fun there, and it's an experience that will live with me forever. I loved it, it was so much fun, and I'm so glad I get to go with like my favourite people at uni. And that was also really like, because you have to sit and there's a lot of people and there's loud noises and stuff, so that was a lot. And then linking to that, I'm so proud of myself because I have done the most I have done like in 3 months than I have ever done, really, in terms of social, in terms of academics, in terms of work. These 3 months have been so busy, and I had this weird feeling because I did have like 2 months where I was sick, so that's also amazing, that I've done so much in that space of time, if you know what I mean. But I'm comparing this to 2019 levels as well, not 2020 or 2021, because obviously we didn't do very much because of the big Rona. But I'm just so proud of myself because I have such a fear of asking people to do things because I'm scared that they will tell me no and they will reject me and they'll be angry with me because I asked them to do something. Don't know why, but I'm trying to get over that, and I'm trying to conquer my fears of different social environments like cinemas and restaurants and stuff like that. And restaurants we're not vibing with too much at the moment, that still needs to work in progress, but other like big venue type things I am getting more comfortable with. And also part of the reason why the nervousness has been even more so is because of my injuries and stuff. So like I do have a fear of like throwing up in public places, So when you have a foot where you can't walk around very well, it like heightens it, because how are you supposed to get to the bathroom quickly if you need to? That's, you know what I'm saying. But yeah, so I'm just proud of myself for slowly pushing into doing more social stuff. So some of my favourite things have been, you know, going on holiday to York, seeing where my mum grew up. That was so much fun. Obviously the drag show, the concert, even like, you know, like I said, going to the cinema with my friends. I've done that twice. And, you know, going bowling at the start of the year, that was so much fun. Going to Build-A-Bear with my friend, so much fun. Being able to go out for walks with my dog again, so much fun. I'm just so happy because I do still, don't get me wrong, I do still feel like all of this stress and anxiety and stuff about social things, but I feel like I'm getting a hold and pushing myself to do more. And hopefully, because uni is ending it's basically ending next month at the end of April, but I've literally got 2 assignments left, so I'm hoping to do loads of stuff in April, Easter holidays. But yeah, I'm hoping to push myself further. So now I've got my goals. That is a nice segue into goals, isn't it? Be more brave to ask is going to be a massive goal of mine. Be more brave to ask people to do things with me, if that makes sense. That sounds a bit weird, but like friends, I'm scared of asking friends to do stuff, like I just said. So that's a goal, to ask people to do stuff. Also to ask for more like relief at work as well, because I feel like they don't want me to do work because I've been so unreliable because of my health. But I really want to do more work for money. And yeah, like just ask, because that's a goal of mine. If you don't ask, then you can't do anything, you know what I'm saying? You can't solve your problem, you know, whatever. I also want to continue to push my social boundaries. I want to work on the cinema a bit more. I really want to see like the new Batman film. I haven't gotten around to seeing it yet, partly because I'm petrified, partly because I've been ill. And it's 3 hours long, so that's a bit of another thing. But there's like I said, the Doctor Strange film coming out. Really want to see that. I also want to see like the Morbius films and so much stuff that I wanted to see, but I just need to get the nerve to go to the cinema. And like also other things, you know, like driving to a beach. I really want to go to the Sea Life in Brighton, but I'm scared to drive to Brighton, so that's, you know, challenging. So things like that, basically. Go and push myself out of my comfort zone. I can do it. I know I can do it, so why can't I? Finish uni, obviously. Finish my last 2 assignments. That's one of my goals. I want to think about my future career a bit. Heavily debating what I want to do. Have no idea. So I kind of want to get an idea of that in the next few months, so I can make a decision at the end of it what to do. That's the year. Just also decide on what I want to do for my 21st, because my mum and my family keep going, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? And I'm like, I have no idea. What do I want to do? Who knows? Do I even want to be 21? Not really, but I'm going to be forced to be, so yay. And lastly, our health goals. So this is partly nothing to do with like weight or anything, or losing weight or anything, but that would be a nice side effect. But I want to do more more mobile, and partly that is I want to focus on doing more sort of home exercises that are specified for arthritic joints. So because I can't do the normal ones, I used to do like the Clotain challenges, that's too intense on my joints, so I need to find something to replace those. I also want to go swimming more regularly, but I feel like that will be more easier to do now that I won't have to go to and from Oxford after like the end of April, so like May and June I'll be able to focus on that. So those are my goals, and I'm really excited for the next 3 months, because we've got, you know, April, May and June. Those are the next 3 months. And April, like I said, finishing uni, and I'm going to see a Five Sauce concert. May, I'm going to Edinburgh for a week, and June is my 21st birthday, so we've got some things to look forward to. That's not everything, but that's just some things. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. I just thought it would be nice to chat to you guys and share some things and everything, and yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, leave a thumbs up, comment down below any suggestions you have for future videos. Let me know what your favourites of the past few months have been. I would love to know. I hope to see you in the next video, and thank you for watching. Bye for now, guys.